Welcome back, Sunday Society, to another episode of Taking Back Sunday. We are on episode 7 of season 6,
Holy cow.
and today we are going to talk about accountability.
Yes, we are.
And when we talk about accountability, we are going to think about Taylor Swift and Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
It's me. It's me.
So, let's get into it. Let's grab our coffee, get comfy, and let's take back Sunday.
All right, Hannah. So, talking about accountability, is there a time when you had the realization that you might be the problem?
Oh, I mean, probably all of middle school and high school.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was definitely the problem,
Oh,
well,
my God.
many times.
Yeah, I feel like middle school is very much, we were all the problem. It was not,
Yes,
it's not just one person that was the problem. It was
everybody.
everybody, especially middle school girls. We tend to be the drama.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think there are always some times where you sit and you're like, "Wait a minute. Am I the problem? What is that clip? It's like, am I the drama?"
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
and I think parenting, I come across a lot of times that
mm,
I can add to the problem, or I come across harsh or whatever, and I have to come back and be like, "Hey, I'm really sorry,
yeah. Yeah.
that
I
wasn't nice, or
yeah.
that wasn't needed, or,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have acted that way."
And I think that's important because our goal in this episode and kind of in life is to become self-aware but not self-critical. So it's about understanding yourself, noticing your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and recognizing how they affect you and also other people. It's like saying I snapped at my coworker because I was stressed, not because they did something wrong. So
Yeah.
similar to like when you have that parenting moment that I'm sure a lot of our listeners have had, I snapped because I was overstimulated and everyone was talking to me and the washer was going off and the dishwasher was dinging and the fridge was open. It happens. It happens, but it's not because of what that final person who stepped into the danger zone did.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is curious but not cruel. So it helps you observe what's going on inside of you without judgment. Like you are allowed to learn and do better for next time without judging yourself for
Mm,
what you did.
okay.
Self criticism, on the other hand, is about judging yourself.
Gotcha.
So it's when that inner voice turns from reflective to relentless. So I can't believe I did that. I'm so stupid. Why do I always mess things up? Self criticism shuts down growth because it focuses on punishment instead of progress. And it keeps you stuck in guilt instead of helping you move forward. Self awareness looks in the mirror and says, okay, I've got a little spinach in my teeth. Let's fix that. Self criticism looks in the mirror and says, wow, I'm disgusting. I cannot believe I went out like this.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we've been both. I have
Yeah.
been self aware and I've always been also been self critical. Wow. Always been self critical. That's also true. So, same reflection in the mirror, but just a different approach on how you address the situation. So, fun little confession style storytelling
Yeah.
from some of our listeners. We asked about a time that they may have realized that they were the problem. And I feel like we kind of had an overwhelming, I've always been the problem, which I'm like, well, we'll talk about that because that can't be true. But we did get a couple of pretty good submissions to
Mhm.
talk about. So, Hannah, I'll let you read yours first.
So I won't say, like, who this is from, but
Yeah.
I did, make a post and just, tell me a time where, you were the problem.
Realized it might be you.
Yeah. And this person said, "Girl, I am the problem." She's talking about a new relationship she has, and she said that the man steps up and does things when I don't even ask. And for a while, I used to get snappy and be like, "I can do it," or "Just let me do it. I got it," because I felt like if I let him do things, that he would eventually, or that it would eventually be held over my head, and that past triggers can, bite you in the butt pretty hard. And then she also said it's easy to get into our independent masculine era, but it is really hard to come out of it. And I totally understand that
Yeah.
from being a single parent. Um, being the one that was in charge
Mhm.
and in control and like having to take care of everything, it is hard to come out of that role.
Yeah. Yeah. Being a single person the majority of my adult life, it is hard to even accept help when it's offered to you because
Yeah.
you don't want somebody to turn around and put that back in your face and
Yeah.
hold it against you.
Yeah.
Like, well, I've done this, this, and this for you. Well, if the reason that you did all of those things was to then throw it back in my face later as like a weapon, forget
Mhm.
you. Like, I don't need your help. And I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know that I have had anyone who has shown me that they can step up and handle me at my masculine because I'm not going to automatically come out of it. It's a process. Like I feel like my walls are so high because of, life, and I recognize that I am the problem with that. Like I do know if I would soften myself, maybe I would be a little more approachable, but it's hard because I depend on myself to get things done. So I get it. And I'm happy that this person has found somebody that has stepped up for them because they
Yeah.
deserve it. The first one that I got was almost kind of like an LOL, but they sent a couple like red flag crying emojis that said, I still am. That's why I'm single.
Oh.
And I want to hearken back to the self criticism that we are not self critical of ourselves. We can be self aware, and we'll talk about the differences and kind of what that looks like. Um, but I let them know that they are not always the problem, that they need to give themselves a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
So that one hurt my heart because I feel like a lot of people think that. They
Yeah.
automatically assume that bad things happen to them because they are the problem.
I think if we're being honest, we have a lot of people that are either not self aware
Mm,
and it's no accountability,
mhm.
or you're over accountable
Yeah,
and it's self criticism.
there's no middle.
Yeah.
There's just and those people usually find each other, and it's a toxic
Yeah.
relationship.
And then you're married to a troll
Mhm. Who
who's
gives
who
0
just
Fs about you.
who just continues to ruin other people's lives over and over and over because they just hop to the next person.
If you know.
If you know, you
And
know.
I hope you know. And if you don't know, now you
Then
know.
it's yeah, well, I'm sure you know somebody that's like that.
Yeah, it's very common,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Then the next one I got started out with the joke, LOL my whole life, laughing emoji. But most significantly, when I lost everything, including my son, and have had to fight tooth and nail to build it all back, starting with building myself up.
That's heavy.
Yeah. That was I feel like that is when you kind of get to that point in your life where you look around and you're like, "Okay, I think it's me, and I think that there's some things that I need to do to work to get better." And I like that they started with building myself up because you can't fix what's broken if you're broken. And that's kind of something that comes along with that self-awareness. It's what's your plan for growth
Yeah.
without maybe necessarily changing who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I have always been me, but,
Mhm.
with my journey, the last 3 years, there has been a lot of growth.
Yeah.
So and I honestly lost me in
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
issues. I lost who I was a little bit. And so being able to see me come back and better
Yeah.
and there is change, but it's due to growth. It's
Yeah.
not because
Yeah.
I'm becoming a different person.
Yeah, I think a key difference between those 2 things is that change is kind of like a permanent transition into someone else.
Like when you change your clothes, you're in a completely different outfit.
Yes, exactly. And growth, you are maintaining your core beliefs and values and, like, staying true to who you are, but your ideals are maturing with
Yeah.
you. Like, you're just adding earrings to your
I was
outfit.
gonna say we're
We're
accessorizing.
accessorizing. I
Yeah.
love that analogy. Girl, you know I love an analogy. So, yes, you're changing your whole outfit. Growth, you're just adding
The
the
positive things
mhm,
that make the outfit better.
yeah. So there is a difference though between making excuses for yourself versus offering an explanation for your actions. Um, the difference usually comes down to intent, accountability, and growth. So I'm going to break them down. Excuses, their purpose is to deflect blame or justify poor behavior, performance, or decisions. The focus is external factors. Well, it's not my fault. I couldn't help it, or, whatever it may be. The tone is always defensive or dismissive. The effect, it protects the ego in the short term, but prevents growth in the long term.
Mhm.
So, for example, I missed the deadline because my coworker didn't remind me. This shifts responsibility away from you and implies helplessness, like, oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you not know the deadline?
yeah, exactly. Are you weaponizing your incompetence right now? Like, you're an adult.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am. I'm like, you're grown. Get over it. You can put reminders in your phone. So then versus, those are the excuses. Explanations, that purpose is to understand the context and own responsibility while identifying causes or solutions. So the focus is shared accountability and self-awareness. So here's what happened and what I'll do differently. The tone is reflective and honest. It builds trust, promotes learning, and leads to change. The example here is the same. I missed the deadline because I misjudged how long the last step would take. I've already built in extra time for next week. So it shows ownership and an effort to improve. So you're taking that accountability, you're acknowledging I missed this deadline because I did something wrong, and here's how I'm going to fix it
Yeah.
moving forward. So the fine line here is that the same words can be either an excuse or an explanation. It just depends on the delivery and the intention behind them. So if it ends in a period, it's likely an excuse. If it ends in a plan, it's an explanation. So excuses protect your reputation and explanations protect relationships. Excuses say, I can't. Explanations say, I didn't, but here's how I'll fix it.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that some people, and I'm learning this in therapy, of like falling into the bad habits, but they're the comfortable, familiar habits. And if excuses are where you have lived your whole life, it is very hard to then make yourself uncomfortable to then offer an explanation versus an excuse because you've never had to do that before. So if you're listening and you're like, oh man, I think I do make excuses. First of all, pop off because that's self-awareness and we're proud of you for recognizing it, clock it or whatever.
Whatever the kids are
No.
saying.
We're so cool. But then also acknowledge and give yourself grace that, okay, how am I going to transition? Instead of saying, well, I missed the deadline because so and so slept in and we didn't get up in time to do this, versus, oh, I overslept because I didn't realize I would need 17 alarms to wake me up, very lighthearted example. But it's a hard thing to unlearn the bad habits because your brain, literally, the synapses are real and they make pathways. So as soon as you experience something, your brain is like, oh, I remember this. This is what we do now. And this is our comfort. So like unlearning those bad habits is very, very hard. So give yourself grace to grow.
So, Bianca, we're going to talk a little bit about reflection versus rumination.
Love it.
So, and how to repair.
Yeah.
Um, you know, have you ever like in a situation thought or said something and then you like replay that over and over in your mind of like, did I do the right thing?
Yes.
I could have done this different.
Oh my gosh, I always win the argument 3 days later when I had time to think more about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
In the shower.
yes. Oh girl, those shower arguments are real.
I have shower arguments before arguments happen.
Me too. I prepare. Maybe that's not the most healthy thing to do, but I'll try to unlearn that habit.
So that is actually not reflection.
Mhm.
That's rumination.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not great.
No, it's not.
Reflection helps you learn. Rumination traps you there in that space.
That's powerful.
Yeah. One helps you grow forward, and the other keeps you stuck in mental quicksand.
Yeah. I feel like rumination is my worst enemy.
Yep.
I feel like
You
I
can
do it way
you
way too
can
much.
overanalyze every single word you said, every decision you made. And I know with my job, there are things that happen in my job that I'm constantly like, if I did this different, or if I would have done this, or if I could have done this, or if I said this, or whatever, would the outcome be different?
Yeah.
And that is rumination, and it goes constantly.
It's damaging. Like
Hmm.
that'll crush you.
So, yeah, the difference often comes down to direction. So, reflection looks inward to understand, and rumination circles backward to obsess.
I like that. Looking forward or looking inward to understand and move forward and
Hmm.
then not circling backwards.
Yeah.
There's a reason that the rear view mirror faces back because it's behind us.
Yes. When we talk about accountability, it's easy to slip from healthy reflection into self blame.
Mm.
That's where our framework, recognize, reflect, repair, comes in. It's about taking ownership without spiraling, turning self awareness into action, and remembering that growth doesn't come from perfection, it comes from progress.
Amen.
Which I think if you've ever dealt with somebody who is trying to work on themselves, and you see that although they still are working through some things that they need to work on, but you see the progress, that's huge.
Yeah, and you
And to
should
be able to look at yourself and see your progress, because it's easy, I think, to see it in other people.
I was gonna say it's hard, just kind of like with weight loss. I know that's kind of a very vain example, but you see yourself every single day. So it's hard to recognize sometimes progress that you've made on that journey. But then you see people that you haven't seen in a month or 2 months, and they're like, oh my gosh, you look great. And you're like, oh, I needed that validation. The
Hmm.
same thing with like your mental health. Like when you work on yourself, it feels good to hear somebody else say, I see you. Like,
Yeah.
I could tell you really doing the work on yourself. I
Yeah.
think that that is a huge compliment.
Yes.
So compliment your friends if they're doing the work and you can see the fruits of their labor.
Yes. So, with recognize, reflect, and repair, you're going to recognize that you can't fix what you won't admit.
Mm. Oh,
So,
can you say that again, please?
yes, you cannot fix what
Mm-mm.
you won't admit.
No, you cannot.
So, the first step is just seeing it, recognizing that you've made a mistake, hurt someone, or dropped the ball. No dramatic self blame required.
Please save the drama for your mama.
Example, you're late to brunch. Again, instead of texting on my way from your couch, try, hey, I totally lost track of time. I should have planned better. It's honest, human, and sets up the next step, which,
I have sent those messages before, but it's like, hey, I'm going to be late because of who I am as a person.
yeah,
I've sent that
I feel
message.
like you're not a late person, though.
No, I late for me is on time. Like if I'm
Yeah,
going to be there, if you say 10 o'clock and I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock, I'm
yeah.
like, hey, I'm running late.
Yeah. And it's really easy for me with exterior circumstances and other
Mhm.
people to then shift blame of why we're late. But honestly, I need to be more accountable sometimes of being like, I should have told them 15 minutes, we had to leave 15 minutes earlier or whatever. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I
and
think with kids,
sometimes,
it is hard.
yeah, sometimes I'll be in bed and be like, I gotta get up and get going. And I'm just like, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, girl. That's me every morning, and I work from home. And I'm like, I don't even want to walk the 3 feet to my computer.
So, our next step is reflect, and it's ask yourself what is going on there. Once you recognize the slip, pause before jumping into fix it mode.
Mm.
Reflection is where growth happens. Why did it happen and what patterns are showing up? You realize you're always late because you think you can just do one more thing before leaving, or maybe it's people pleasing you hate saying no, so you overload your time. So, reflection equals self awareness without self judgment.
Do you think that that is maybe the hidden step? Like people skip that step out of these 3, the recognize the problem, reflect on it,
I
and
think
then
they're
repair?
recognizing it sometimes and just trying to repair it versus recognizing, reflecting the reason behind
Yes.
it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. It's
Hmm.
just we skip that step
Yeah.
most often. Most skipped step,
And if
recognize
I
or
can
reflect
recognize that
rather.
I like to fix when I break things.
Need to yes, I
Or even
recognize.
if I'm involved in something being broken that I didn't break, I
Mhm.
like to fix things. I am
Yeah.
a fixer.
Yep.
And so I will go from recognizing there's a problem to trying to fix it
Yep.
without actually reflecting on, first of all, is it my job to fix it? And if it is, what did how did we
Amen.
get here?
Yeah, amen. I think that that reflection is where like you said, it's where the growth happens. Like,
Hmm.
that is the most powerful
Yeah. So
part of
the
this.
recognize to repair would be that change that we see,
Mhm. Mhm.
but there's no growth.
Yeah.
Going from recognize, reflect to repair,
Yeah.
there's where our growth is.
I think if you go straight from recognize to repairing, it's not gonna last.
And
It's
you're
not gonna be
and you're not
permanent.
and you're not building faith in relationships either.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you're not fixing the problem.
Yeah. And yes, so let's talk
Okay.
about that repair.
So repair, make it right, not just right now. And I really do
Mhm.
like that because I mean, I think we know people that will fix something that someone, they bring it to you and they're like, I'm going to fix this, but
Yeah.
we don't fix it long term.
Mhm.
We fix short term.
To ease the tension and to just move
Yeah.
on
I'm
with
going to be
life.
on my very best behavior and I'm just not going to even act like myself
Mhm.
so that everything's okay. But then we aren't actually fixing or repairing what is broken.
Yeah.
We're just masking the problem.
Yes. And that's something in the classroom. One of my mentors, the brilliant Susan Black, and I know she won't mind that I use her name because she's brilliant and I'm obsessed with her. She taught me.
Creepy. No, I'm just kidding.
What's up? What's up, Mrs. Black? But something I learned from her that she would talk because we used BIST for
Yeah.
our behavior kind of rehabilitation program. I can't even remember what we called it, but um, part of that process was they had to apologize for the action. If they had got sent out of the classroom, they had to apologize before they came back in and have that conversation. We called it processing. We processed the issue at the end of the process. They apologized for what they did. And Susan would always say, I'm glad and I appreciate that you've apologized to me, but how you can show me or how I can believe your apology is if you show me a change in behavior.
Actions speak louder than words.
Because what I'm looking for is a pattern of behavior here. And you can say sorry, but I will only accept it when I see that you have changed.
I tell my children all the time, you can say sorry, but without change, it's just manipulation.
Yeah, girl, you just manipulate. And that's a silly thing that, you say or I say, but it's true. Like
Hmm.
it really is. It's a toxic thing that some I almost said that men be doing, but I
Bianca's
gotta
toxic,
recognize
hating men.
I really do need to talk to my therapist about that.
I definitely think you do.
Yeah, I do have
Yeah,
some
because
issues there.
if we had a friend that was male that talked about women the way you talk
I
about men,
know.
we'd be like,
And
"You're a pig."
the thing is I love all of my brothers and I would hate for anybody to think that about them. The way that I feel about these arbitrary men that don't even exist in my life. Like I'm just all men are stupid. Like they're not. I
Yeah.
know that it's not. There is something wrong with me that happened that I am holding on to that I've got to work through. I've got to figure
I mean,
out.
I think it's a lot of it.
Probably. I mean, I feel like I was like this before I met. Yeah.
And they're really not. There are a lot of very good men out
Yeah.
there.
It's the worst ones that leave the worst
You
impression.
have had some bad luck though with
Yeah.
like even like in the dating world.
Yeah. And I think a lot of my issues do come from that. I've just not had
I
good
think
experiences with men
well, and
outside of like friendships and things like that.
I think underneath the hate is probably some rejection.
And yeah, there's a lot of pain there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tracy. I have therapy on Monday, so I'm gonna add this
I'm
to the
just
list.
thinking that maybe rejection and
Mhm.
to be mad and pissed off is like a
Oh,
wall
it's that comfortable
defense
it's
mechanism.
that comfortable process that I have learned to do.
I am proud of you for recognizing that about yourself.
Yes,
I
and
thought it for years, but I'm just
now
like,
I've
she
gotta
ain't
reflect.
ready to hear
Now I've gotta reflect
it.
on
Yeah.
what's going on there, and I
Yeah.
can do that in
And
therapy.
you don't have to repair with anybody because
No,
we
because
just talk
F
about
them.
random men. So you could
Yeah,
just
it's just yeah,
repair yourself.
they're exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
We talked about this. Apologies are easy, repair takes effort. It's action plus intention, which love
Mhm.
that. So we are not just saying we're sorry, we're showing it. We're, like I said, actions speak louder than words. So you show up with coffee for your brunch buddy next time or set an alarm 15 minutes early. It's about demonstrating you learned, not performing guilt, which I really like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to take, it's initiative.
Mhm.
I'm going to take initiative to come up with a way to show that I'm taking this seriously and actually trying to make a change.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not that the performative guilt, like, "Oh, I'm such a horrible person. I hate everything. I'm so terrible." It's
I don't even
overrated.
know why you're my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shoot,
okay.
now I feel like maybe I've said that to you before.
I think I've said it to you, but not for that reason.
No, no, we're not performing when we talk like that. We are at the bottom.
So, yeah. So, just a quick reflection. What do you think would be one thing that you could own today that would make your future self proud?
I think what I just talked about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't even intend for that to happen, but I
yeah.
think that just acknowledging that I do have a serious bias against men. And
Yeah.
it's rooted in a lot of very negative experiences that I've
Well,
had
we
with
c
them.
well, and we can look more into that, like, out of here,
Yeah.
but I do think talking about it with your therapist and just
Mhm.
trying to figure out maybe she can have a way to, like, go like, dive into your history to
Dig
figure
deep.
out
Yeah.
where it started.
Yeah, I told it's funny that you say that because I told Laura we were talking about how I would love to dig into my childhood and figure out what's wrong, but the world keeps screwing me and I can't get there. All I've been able to
You're
do
like,
is
the current
process
stuff.
now.
Current
Yes,
events.
my current events are stressing me out, and I feel like I might finally be in a place that yeah, current events are hard, but I'm managing them, like, I'm maintaining and now I can take this time and reflect because those things in my past are impacting me in my present and in these current events, even. Like,
Yeah,
I can process these feelings that I'm having currently by maybe looking at maybe how they started.
yeah.
So, what about you? What's one thing you can own today that would make future Hannah proud?
I think that something that I could own would be that I expect so much of myself, and I am always setting myself up for disappointment because not everybody is me. And I think when I am a I go will go out of my way for somebody, and when I don't get that in return from people, even though I'm not doing it for something in return, when it doesn't happen and someone just isn't
Mhm.
me
Mhm.
giving it back to me, I set myself up for failure, and I'm super disappointed, and I'm super sad, and I'm like, "I don't understand." But they don't understand because I'm expecting something out of them that I haven't even communicated to
Yeah.
them.
It's crazy that you say like the way you just said that last sentence in therapy, that was something that I had a conversation with Tracy about, was that I was putting this expectation on somebody without even making sure that they were okay being that person in my life. And maybe they're not, and that's not their fault. Like, it's not their fault that they didn't want to be that kind of central character that I had created. I gave them main character energy and they weren't even a footnote in the index of the last page of the last chapter of my life. Like, they didn't deserve it because that's how they acted. But I gave them that expectation that I was giving them this, expecting it back. And that's not fair to them. They didn't ask for that.
Mhm.
I had to also work through and own some of that.
I do wanna say if I'm thinking who you're talking about
Oh, I
is
sure am.
correct,
Or you probably are.
then they knew that that was the place that you put them in, and they knew that they didn't care how any of their actions affected you, and that's not a good person.
No, it's a terrible person. And it was just a lesson um I've learned. And finally, I'm at the point where there's nothing there. There's nothing left. It's like
I think
gray
when
and
you
cold.
give and give and give and give and don't receive back, or like your efforts aren't appreciated, at some point you just have to go, "Okay,
Yeah. And it's
I have
what
nothing
is the
left.
yeah.
You've left me with nothing."
Yeah. And
So
it's like
there's just nothing there.
and how do you get there? You know, like what finally has to happen? What rock bottom needs to occur for you to realize like, oh, they really don't care about me. I can't fix them. That's something that I think I'm like, oh, they'll change for me.
Yeah.
No. People
No.
are who they are. And
If they wanna change, they're gonna change on their own without
yeah,
your
they're gonna
help.
grow. Yeah. I didn't even
Yes,
expect
they're gonna
change.
grow.
And what
Yes.
happened was this person did change. They completely changed who they were, their morals, their beliefs, their core values from the day that I met them to current day, night and day.
Unrecognizable.
Hmm? Yeah,
Unrecognizable.
exactly. And that's why I think that I don't have anything left because I can see it. And I'm like, yeah, you are not the person that I thought you were. And if you were this person when we met, I never would have given you the time of day.
Bro, Academy Awards.
Could you, right? Seriously, the mask was real.
Academy Awards. Anyway,
Yeah.
off topic.
Off topic. So,
Let's talk about growth.
yeah. So at the end of the day, accountability isn't about beating yourself up because that's not going to fix
Gosh, I'm so
anything.
good at beating myself up, though.
I know. Let's fix that. Let's go learn a new, healthier coping mechanism or coping strategy. It's about building yourself up and growing with grace. So, growth with grace means you can look at where you've been without shame. You can take responsibility without judgment, and you can keep moving forward with compassion for the person that you're becoming. Accountability is not synonymous with blame. It's not the same thing. You can be accountable without blaming yourself. Like, yes, I acknowledge my role in this, but I'm not the only person that is accountable or carrying this. Other people are also needing to be
Yeah.
accountable. It's just honesty with progress attached to it. So it's saying, I see what happened. I own my part and I'm choosing to do better without
Oh,
dragging
yeah.
your past mistakes. Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, because it takes, let's say you're in an argument. Two people are arguing. You can't own my part. You can't own the things that I've done. You can only own your part and choose to do better moving forward for you.
Yeah.
And I would be the same. I don't own your change or your growth. I only own what I can do. Those circles of control. We can only control our thoughts and our actions. And I think that's a thing. We expect that our change will trigger other people's change or growth. And it's not. You
It
can't.
doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. You have to, it goes back to that recognition. Like you have to recognize and admit that you might be the problem.
Yep.
So as you head into your week, I want you to give yourself permission to be both a work in progress and also the artist working on it. That's growth. That's grace. And that's how you take back Sunday.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
So
I like
that is
that.
accountability
Mhm.
and learning how to own your part. There was one thing that we talked about with the reflection. You can't fix what you won't admit. That's the
Yeah.
line that I think I'm taking with me into this week. You can't fix what you're not going to admit because then you don't see yourself as the problem. And that is the problem most of the time is
Mhm.
that people don't want to admit or honestly don't see it.
Well, and also you can only change you. And
Yes.
I say that. We're talking change, growth. You can only help grow yourself. Like
Yeah.
that is you can't grow other people. You can't do the work for them.
That's
So
that. Yeah.
why are we focusing on other people's faults and
Yep.
other people's failures and other people's if
Yeah.
we can't change it, what focusing on
Why
it sounds like we're just setting ourselves up for failure.
exactly? Why ruminate on it? And that's something that I learned in college is that when you expect something from somebody that they have shown you time and time again that they are not, you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
You're not hurting that person. They are who they are. They clearly, if who they are is somebody that doesn't care how they treat you or how you feel about how you're being treated, why stress yourself out over it
Yeah.
and make yourself miserable? Like, I can't believe that they said this to me. They're such a terrible person. Like, I expected better. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Like, if they are proving, because again, recognize those patterns of behavior. That's what's going to indicate to you who people really are.
Yeah.
So yeah, take that with you into the week. Own your part and your part only because you are not
Yeah.
responsible for the growth of other people.
And focus on growth, not change.
Yes. Unless you want to change, because some people probably could afford a haircut or a different outfit.
Yes. So I think that's a good place to end this week's episode, and we look forward to next week. What do we have coming up?
I am pretty sure that next week is our episode of gratitude and just reflecting on
I
this
love it.
past year and
Yeah.
talking about traditions and like all the things that we're thankful for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be very upbeat
Yes.
as, compared
We've been
to,
had some heavier things, so
yeah.
I think it'll be a good one to have.
Yep.
Well, I am Hannah,
I'm Bianca.
and we are Taking Back Sunday.
Look at that. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's grab our coffee.
Oh shoot, sorry.
Take this as a note to sit up a little bit. Take note on how good your posture always is. And I'm always over here like a sloth. Like, ugh,
I don't know about
back.
sloth.
My back is always, I'm always like this. I have the worst posture. Self awareness. So,
Okay, I won't say who it's from
yes,
because,
these are anonymous because it was a safe space.
do me stop talking while you're moving. We'll just pause.
Oh,
Yes, let's just, no, you fix, we'll pause.
I'm fixed.
Okay, you're
I
good.
didn't even realize I was doing it.
You've done it for a minute. I was just like, we can pause.
I might leave a lot of that in, actually. That's important stuff.